everybody, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video and a set of projects that I've created with the brand new and limited edition STAMPtember 2021 card kit. This is a popular kit that has been released in years past, and it's been a fan favorite for many of our Simon Says Stamp followers. And so Simon has created a brand new STAMPtember limited edition kit again for this year. I'm extra excited about this kit because I actually got to design the 6x8 birthday bash stamp set that's included in the kit, as well as one of the stencils that's included in the kit. So in today's projects, I'm going to share 3 different ideas that you can do with contents from the kit. The first project we're going to create is a box card. A box card is a really unique die set that allows you to create a dimensional card that folds up flat so you can easily stick it into an A2 envelope. So I'm going to use that box card die, which I have here. There is also a border die set that you can purchase separately that's a great companion die for this set. I'm going to start by die cutting the base of the box card first from some pattern paper. Then I'm going to trim another piece of pattern paper to be 3.5 by 4.25. This is the back of our box card. For the piece that we die cut from the pattern paper, I'm going to go ahead and fold over on the pre-scored lines that are created when you die cut this particular piece. Once I have all the edges scored, on the 2 very ends of this piece, I'm going to attach a bit of red line tape. This is Simon Says Stamp's 1/8 inch red line tape. I put a piece on each side, and I'm going to stick one of the ends onto the leftmost side of my 3.5 by 4.25 panel, and then I will go ahead and sandwich the other side onto the far right end of that panel. And so this will create the box, and this is what our elements are going to be suspended from after we add the inside panels. So you can already see this taking shape. Those inserts that I mentioned are created with that smaller die that comes with the box card die set. So on the 2 small flaps that are created from the particular insert piece, we're going to stick some red line tape. So you need a piece of red line tape on both ends. Once you've gone ahead and added the adhesive, you'll remove the backing and you'll stick one of the ends inside of the box. I'm going to remove the release paper here, and I'm going to just do that on one of the small flaps, tuck this into my box and line it up where I want it. After I've attached that piece down, I'll go ahead and pull out the other end, remove the adhesive backing, and then I will carefully fold the whole box over top of that flap so that it will perfectly sandwich this right in the center of my box card. It's a very simple process to put this together, and you can put as many inserts as you'd like inside your box. So I decided on 2 for my card today. I have my box assembled here, and you can see that this is going to create some really nice dimension once we started hearing pieces onto those inserts. Those pieces are going to be cut from this new balloon die that's from Simon Says Stamp's STAMPtember kit. I'm cutting this from a variety of pattern papers. I've got a whole bunch of different colors here and some fun rainbow colors, and I'm going to die cut each one of these from that balloon die. I'm planning on actually trimming some of these down so that there's only 2 balloons per bunch versus 3, and that's just going to give my balloons a little bit of interest because I am going to cluster a whole bunch of these together, and I wanted to make sure that they weren't all exactly the same. So that's why I'm going ahead and removing some of the extra balloons from this particular bunch. With those balloons, I'm going to take a little bit of Simon Says Stamp Craft tacky glue and adhere them onto a piece of white cardstock. This white cardstock isn't necessary, however, it's giving me the opportunity to assemble my balloons and figure out the exact placement, not just for the arrangement of the balloons themselves, but also how they'll look inside the box. And the white cardstock's basically giving me something to hold on to. So as I'm playing around with the general layout, this is allowing me to really have a bit more control of how I'm using these balloons. And it's going to be a lot easier to line these up inside of the box once I have them all adhered to just one single piece that I have to adhere to those inserts. So this is not necessary, like I said, but it is helpful. So once I have assembled the balloons into the arrangement that I like best, I'll put a bit of dot runner onto those white panels, and then I can easily nest those behind my inserts that are in the box card. And that allows me to attach them all really quickly and easily without having to fuss with them, trying to adhere them onto each individual insert one at a time. So I did make 3 bunches of balloons, but in the end I actually only decided to create 2 bunches, and the third section of my box card is actually going to be reserved for the sentiment. So here's the box card, mostly put together at this point, but we need to add a greeting. There's some sentiment strips included in this card kit, and I'm going to use one of them here that says Happy Birthday to create a nice big greeting that's going to go right in the front of my card. I will trim this down with my scissors to get the size that I'm going for. And I have a piece of acetate here. This is from Simon Says Stamps Acetate. I've cut this into a thin strip, and then I trim that strip in half. So that way I can adhere those strips to the back side of my sentiment strip. And I'm going to put one on each end of the greeting. These are going to be almost invisible suspensions for this greeting. So it's going to make the sentiment look like it's floating above the box insert. It's a really cool effect, and a lot of people like to do this for creating scenes inside their box cards, but I thought it'd be fun to do this with a greeting. So now that I attached the acetate strips to the back side of the greeting, I also put some of that red line tape onto the bottom portion of the acetate so that I can glue it to my box. So I'll sandwich this inside of the box card, making sure I line it up really well and evenly across the whole piece. I'll press it down really well, and that'll allow me to have the sentiment adhered to the front of the card. My last finishing touch for this very colorful card is to add even more color, and I'm going to use sequins for that. So I pulled out a couple of mixes from Simon Says Stamp. The Rainbow Party mix, that one's definitely still available. I'm not sure about these teeny tiny sequins. I'm not even sure where I got them and what particular mix they were from, but I've had them in my stash for like forever, so I was trying to use some of them up. And the colors looked really good with the pattern paper that I used. So this is the card that I created first. This is my box card, and it's a really cool card that is, like I said, easy to mail. This folds flat. And so what will happen is you'll stick this inside of an A2 card. If you follow the dimensions that I gave you at the beginning of the video, those dimensions fit into an A2 envelope. So it's a really easy card to mail, but it creates a huge impact for the person that gets it. Alright, so that was card number 1. Let's make a more traditional card this time. I'm going to make an A2 sized card here, and we're going to do a bit of stenciling with some bright, happy rainbow colors. I'm going to start off first by taking this stencil here that's from the card kit, and I'm spraying it with pixie spray because this is a very delicate stencil and I do not want this shifting as I add the ink blending over top. I'm attaching this onto a white card base. This is a Simon Says Stamp top folding card base, and I'll use some Simon Says Stamp inks to ink blend through the stencil and directly onto that card base. I started off with Teeny Bikini. It's one of my absolute favorite pinks. I pulled out a yellow color. This one happens to be Sunshine. You could also use Lemon Zing for this. It's also a really pretty yellow. I happen to have Sunshine on my desk, so that's what I grabbed. After I added that one down, I'll transition to Jelly Bean. It's a gorgeous green, and I love how it transitions with the yellows. This will also be a great segue into my last color, which happens to be High Dive. It's a great blue tealish color, and it's the perfect end for this pretty rainbow of 4 colors. So once I have all the stenciling completed, I have this really bright and colorful pattern on the right hand side. When I remove the stencil, we have that great white negative space that's left behind from having the stencil on top. I wanted to finish off the balloons, so I pulled out a Sharpie, and I'm just going to draw balloon strings from each of the balloons, so that way it looks like they are completed. You don't have to do this, but I just wanted to be able to finish these off, and the bold black is a really beautiful modern finish to it. I'll pair in some more black to help complete this card. I pulled out that same Rainbow Party mix that I was using earlier because, again, I love this mix, and it was bright and happy and just a perfect color scheme for these really bright cards and the kit itself. So this sequin pack is not included with the kit, but it's a great addition if you wanted to go ahead and add that to your cart while you're purchasing the kit. This was something I decided on after I glued the sequins, which I would have technically probably wanted to do the sequins afterwards, but it still worked, and I love how it adds just a little bit of shimmer and shine to the card really easily. Here's where I pulled in that black. So I die cut this happy birthday sentiment from Simon Says Stamp. This is a newer birthday die, and it does come with the shadow. I'm covering the black die cuts with Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky Glue. I die cut the sentiment a couple of times, so I have just a little bit of dimension off of the shadow layer, which I cut from white cardstock. So I'll glue that black sentiment onto the white outline so that I have a nice border around the greeting, and that'll also give some separation from the greeting and the really bold and beautiful colors that are in the background. It really helps make the sentiment stand out a bit more. So I glued that down. Craft Tacky Glue is a fantastic adhesive for this. And then I just used a couple pieces of foam tape to attach the greeting onto my card. I will actually reposition some of the sequins that are a little close to the sentiment. I wanted to be able to have a few of them tucked underneath the bottom end of the sentiment, so I added a few more and took out a couple that were going to get covered up by the greeting and re-glued those down in some other areas. I added some pops of white in between the balloons for a little bit more embellishment, and that was with a Signo white gel pen. I do plan on mailing this card, by the way, with one of the holographic envelopes that's included in the kit. I love those envelopes. Now, in addition to the card, you gotta have a gift tag to go with the card, especially if you're giving a gift to somebody for their birthday. So I thought I would show you how to make a tag with the kit contents, and that's what I'm going to be showing you as my third and final project. This one is also extra special to me because I did use the new 6x8 stamp set that's included in the kit that I illustrated, and I really wanted to use that really fun birthday cake. So we started off by die cutting a tag die from a Simon Says Stamp and CZ Designs tag die set. I have that tag die listed in the video description and over on my blog if you're interested. On top of that tag, which was cut from Simon Says Stamp 120-pound white cardstock, I'm stamping not only the cake, but also some stars, and these are all from the Birthday Bash stamp set. To color in my image, I did choose some Copic markers. I started off with E70 markers to color in the chocolate icing for my cake. You can't have a cake without chocolate icing. Then the cake itself, I went for more of a vanilla cake, more of a classic color. Oscar was joining me here in the coloring. As you saw him whiz by, I have this video sped up so he looks like he was flying through. For the vanilla color, I chose E80 markers and even a little bit of E50 to help blend that out. So that'll be the vanilla color, and then I went totally rainbow for the sprinkles. So I basically just did one flat color for all the sequins. They're so small, there really isn't much space to do some shading, so just one single color for all of these was the quick and simple way to color these in, and it doesn't take a lot of time to do. The last finishing touch was to color in those stars. I used those same colors that I used for the sprinkles. That really helps tie everything together and gives the tag a very cohesive look. So after I went ahead and colored all the stars, we are ready to do a bit of stenciling. So I started first by ink blending some of those same colors that I used for the card that you just watched me create with the stenciling. So I'm going to use those same inks to color in the background of my tag. And if you notice, I'm really trying to focus the colors that I'm using around the colors that are colored in for the stars. So you'll notice I kept the blue, for instance, over with the blue and purple colors. I kept the pink over with the red colors, yellow with the yellow colors, and so on and so forth. So that really helps the background tie in together really nicely. Once I have the ink blending completed, I added a bit of shading with a couple of Copic markers. That really helps ground that cake. And then here's where we add the stenciling. So laying a confetti stencil from Simon Says Stamp right over top of the ink blending we just did. I'm going to use those same colors in the same areas to create some tone-on-tone stenciling with this confetti stencil. So it really looks beautiful with this tone-on-tone effect, and it adds just a nice bit of finishing touch to the background to really complete this very party scene. So next I pulled out some embellishments for the tags. These are little like hole reinforcers that are included with that tag die set that I'm using here from CZ Design. And I pulled out the simple little reinforcer, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down onto not just the front but also the back of my tag. It's a really small detail, but it's a really good finishing touch that completes this whole thing. I also covered that back side of the tag with another tag die cut from that same die set. It's the exact same size. What it does is it cleans up the back, and it also really gives it a nice sturdy finish. I tied a bit of twine onto the tag, and then I'm stamping a sentiment from the Birthday Bash stamp set in clear embossing ink onto some black cardstock. I used white embossing powder from Simon Says Stamp to emboss that greeting, and I will also take some fine tip scissors to fussy cut it out because my plan was to attach this down onto the bottom of my card using some foam tape. It really creates a nice finishing touch to add that bold greeting along the bottom here. There's a lot of color going on, so having that greeting really is the perfect finishing touch. So that's my tag. It coordinates perfectly with the card that you saw me create prior to this, and it's a great way to use the kit contents because the kit contents are fantastic for not just creating a variety of birthday cards, but you could make tags and so much more with this too. My hope is that one or all of the projects have inspired you today to create with this kit. It's a really good one, and it's a huge value. This kit is going to retail for around $69, and the actual retail value of it is over $110. So the value of this kit alone is amazing, let alone all the beautiful products that are included. So if you're interested in the kit, I do have links down below in the video description for you to check out, as well as on my blog. If you are interested, go ahead and hop on over there. Simon Says Stamp has these kits available for a limited time only, so if you do like it, you'll want to jump on it. Well, friends, I hope you were inspired today. I hope you enjoyed. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that you watched this video. I hope you'll give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. I will be back very soon with more to share with everybody. But until I see you all again, I hope your day is absolutely wonderful. Bye!